Okay, so the tip of the day, training on the wooden dummy. Now this is quite a controversial area. There's some schools of thought that you should be an advanced student to train on the wooden dummy, but here at the London Wing Chun Academy we actually don't believe that's the case. We actually think that everybody should train on the wooden dummy, beginners, intermediate, advanced students alike, because it has something to offer everybody. Yes, granted, beginners shouldn't learn or there's no need or it's not necessary for them to learn the dummy form, but there's some aspects of the wooden dummy training that they can actually take advantage of. The hand-leg coordination, for example, learning how to move around the dummy, which I'm going to show you. The footwork, in particular the turning aspect of with the footwork combined, I'm going to show you that as well. And most importantly, putting together the basic shapes of Wing Chun, Bong, Tan, Lap Sao and Tum Sao. All important ideas, but for a beginner, someone starting out who doesn't have a training partner, and this is the essential point, you can come in, train on the wooden dummies, we've got lots of them here, we've got 4 in the academy, practice and actually get something done, but it's essential that you actually use the tool. So here's how you do it. First thing, if you recall our last video blog on footwork, the footwork specifically we spoke about was forming a good basic ma, turning, arrow walking, turning, arrow walking. If we take that footwork and then start to add circling to that, we have the fundamental idea of how you move around the wooden dummy. So, find the dummy, form a good basic ma, push your hips forward, always make sure your hips are forward because it'll touch your head back. Check your distance. To check your distance, and this again you should always do, go from a low position, not a high position. If you go from a low position, it's a more accurate measure of distance between you and the body. It's a further point of contact. So from here, to review the footwork, you turn, circle, step and turn, circle. So that's the basic footwork around the dummy. There's more extravagant ways of moving. You can pivot, you can turn, you can sink, but it's not necessary when you first start training Wing Chun. When you first start, that will give you a point or a reference to move to. It's far easier to train your footwork when you've got something to focus on. If you remember the point on the wall bag, the medicine ball, moving around the medicine ball gives you something to focus on. So does the wall bag actually. Hitting the wall bag gives you something to focus on far better than punching on the air. So, basic shapes to practice. This is the second point. Of course you have Bong, which you know, so you can throw Bong. You can throw it square, and throw it turning. Tam. Again, you can even do that turning. You can turn. You've also got Tum Sao. So you're linking the shape, okay? And then Lap Sao. Now, the thing about this is that if you're actually training these shapes individually, you're actually getting the muscle action. You're preparing yourself for it. Sometimes people tend to think, well, you know, should I actually do it? Shouldn't I wait to be instructed on it? I think it's far better just to have a go. It's a bit like learning to walk. You learn to walk, but you fall over quite a few times. The only way to learn to walk is to walk. The only way to do Wing Chun is to do Wing Chun. So from here, the next stage naturally would be linking those ideas together. So now you've got basic framework where you're starting to get your hands to the center. So you're getting your hands to the center of your body, you're coordinating your hands, you're starting to bridge and focus on something which is better than nothing. And then the next stage, and this is the real final tip, is try to do that with hand-leg coordination. So then you start moving around, applying those ideas with the footwork scheme that I gave you earlier. So now you've got a basic fundamental idea of how to start training on the wooden dummy, and the key thing you now know is that you can actually work around, try to coordinate the high and the low arms, this being high, this being low. Okay, go home or come here, train hard, but either way practice on the wooden dummy.